Do you want to know how to have more effective collaborations and to collaborate more? Well, today on Supercharged Sunday, we're going to do just that. Welcome to this episode of Supercharged Sunday with me, Emily McHugh, your Supercharged coach and host, and my special guest, Nivi Kassiram, all the way from Johannesburg, South Africa. Welcome, Nivi.
Hi, Emily. Thank you so much. And thanks for having me.
And it is Johannesburg, right? It's not Cape Town. I kind of just did a. You are in Joburg. Very good. Right. Excellent. Halfway across the world. And I'm so excited to have Nivi. And she's going to share with us, as the business accelerator that she is, how to supercharge your collaborations. And it's all about the power of connections and collaborations and to be more effective doing so. And Nivi has quite a fascinating background. So why don't we just start off with, tell us a little bit about your background, Nivi, how you got into what you're doing as an entrepreneur and all the projects and programs you have launched.
Thanks, Emily. Funnily enough, I have background in finance and auditing. And when I had my son, I decided to skip the corporate background and take the plunge into entrepreneurship. And my first businesses were actually two of them, because I started off with a franchise and it was such a success, we decided to open another one. Mm-hmm. And so the experience was very interesting. It's different from owning your own and starting off your own business. But it was a great journey. It taught me a lot of things. And when my daughter was born a year and a half ago, we sold both the studios, because we were in March, went into lockdown, and in April, she was born. So being a new mom and in business, we were like, it's a lot. It is a lot. And so during this time, since she was born, I've actually started off my own business and from the ground up. And I've realized that it is a very, very interesting journey. So in this last year, I would almost like to say, with everything that's been going on, to try and figure out everything by yourself is a very tricky situation, especially being a woman, a mom in business. Your time's very limited. And so that makes it even more tricky, because it's one thing having a business and understanding what you do, what the product or the service is that you are offering. But there's a whole lot in the background. I mean, domains and emails and social media and how to navigate that and this, and it's a lot. And with the limited time you have, you want to try and get as much impact in that time as possible, because you've got other responsibilities. And so was born Women in Business Unite, because I realized through this journey that it's actually very tricky, and it can be a very lonely journey if you don't have that kind of support. And I think the situation we've been in the last year and a half has taught us that you don't have necessarily that contact with people that you are used to. And so sitting behind your computer, you realize, oh, gosh, this is like daunting, to put it mildly. And I thought to myself, I'm not generally someone who's put down easily. So if I'm feeling this way, surely there are other people feeling the same way. So I got a few friends together and I said, look, we all have businesses. We're all moms or women in business. And where are you at? And so started Women in Business Unite. It's just, you have no idea. I have the same problem as you. I mean, and they've now invited people they know, and those people have invited more people. And we've got into a stage where we are meeting regularly. We meet every month. But it's that power of minds coming together. It's the energy that you feed off. It's the meeting of the minds, the perspective that brings is actually mind-blowing. Because the things that happen in your mind when that goes on is actually something you can't buy, that kind of thing. And it gives you so much of motivation. When I meet with these women every month, and we've been doing it virtually, it gives me renewed energy. It gives me motivation. I'm energized. So much so that I focus now completely on growing this group and this community, because that's what it is. It's our community. because I've realized that it comes from somewhere deep within. And if I can help one person navigate this journey successfully without having to go to too much pain and just making it easier, then my work here is done. So that's basically the reason for coming together and the power that brings. Last night we had a meeting as well, and the outcome of that was there were so many things that came out of it. Every single woman had gained perspective in different areas, niches that they'd not thought of, or areas that they want to consider going forward, or something they'd never known. It's you don't know what you don't know. And that's a very important thing to take out of it, is you think you know what you need to know, but that may not necessarily be the case.
What would be an example of some of those things, like you don't know what you don't know? So what would be an example of something that would have been revealed that people are like, wow, that's now really good to know that I didn't know?
Yes. So an example of that was just last night as well. We've got a legal advisor in our group as well. And she's phenomenal. She's such a wonderful woman. And the other ladies in the group had never thought of it, because being an entrepreneur, you start off your journey and you've got sales and marketing and sort of running your business, but you never quite think about what you might need from a legal perspective, or even insurance for that matter, until something happens and you hit something head on, and then you've got to deal with the issue. You didn't know you needed to have yourself covered in certain areas, documents that may have needed to be drafted ahead of time, and things like that. So that legal aspect was something that really came out last night. And it's something that she's going to focus on specifically. And because it's industry specific, we're going to have invite the ladies that want to attend, but focus on the industry that they're working in specifically, so that we target the legal aspects around that, so that we're all aware of what needs to be done in that respect. So that's just one example, but yeah, it's very interesting how these things come out.
Well, that speaks to, again, more of the power of collaboration and the meeting of the minds, as you're highlighting, and realizing that we don't have to be on this journey. And it is true. The entrepreneurial journey can be quite lonely. And you feel like you're the only one going through all of these things, when everyone's going through the exact same thing, maybe at different times, but at one point or another, you're going to experience things in common and similar. So now, you being in South Africa, I just think it's amazing how, we're all across the world. I'm in Florida, you're in South Africa. And first of all, how we even met. We're meeting through these networks and collaborating. I know through Marit's mastermind is how we first met Marit Potgeider, and she's a wonderful collaborator and connector. And so you connect and you meet. And so how do you speak to the whole idea of one of the benefits of this whole time we're in is that you get to actually meet more people in a way that you may never have met before?
Absolutely. Yeah, this whole situation that we found ourselves in has actually been a blessing in disguise in some way, because it's taught us that we can actually meet virtually, and that the world isn't as big and scary as we thought, because it actually brought us together in such a seamless way. And, often we look to solutions and we look outside our front door. But, the world is actually tangible. It's very tangible right now. And I've had such phenomenal relationships being made with yourself, as well as some of the other ladies as well, in knowing that, we're not alone in this. And it brings us even closer, because as entrepreneurs, we all suffer the same struggles. It's not isolated to Johannesburg, South Africa, or South Africa as a whole. It's around the world. And it's made our space community even bigger. So, we sit like this, and we can talk about entrepreneurship and help each other. You've come on lives with me as well, and we've tried to tackle certain issues. That's amazing. And it gives the ladies, even in the community, perspective on what's out there, to just them. and that also softens the blow, right? Because you don't want to suffer by yourself. You want to understand that there's people all around the world that are having these issues as well. And it makes you, it doesn't make it feel so bad then, So, and the ability for us to help each other, that's amazing. And these relationships that we've developed are probably like going to last forever. And we'd never have had that if we weren't pushed to this virtual world. So we're collaborating all around the world. How amazing is that?
It is phenomenal is what it is. And I really love this whole connectivity. And so, like, I know in South Africa specifically, there are certain issues going on. One of the things being here in the States, we may not be fully exposed to everything going on around the world. So what would you like to share with us in terms of the climate of activity in Johannesburg or in South Africa in general? What are some of the issues that are affecting entrepreneurs and in that help to encourage even more the need to collaborate and connect? So what is the climate there right now?
So as with probably around the world, there's been a lot of job loss. People are struggling to keep their heads above water. I mean, South Africa has always been had a reputation for being a bit crime-ridden. It's not as safe as we would like it to be. But you know what? At the end of the day, we've got to take the situation that we're in and make the most of it. And the thing is, yes, there are more people unemployed. Yes, there are more people that are going to become desperate and turn to crime. And one of the things that we've partnered with as well is an organization, which is we call them a nonprofit organization. Here, I'm not sure what you call it there, but it's called City Zen. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's City Zen. And basically, what we're doing there is we're trying to get the underprivileged or unemployed people off of the streets. And together with the in sustainability initiative, we're getting them to clean the streets, and those the waste that they pick up are basically being recycled so that the revenue they generate can be used to sustain them. Also, the food waste is being used to sustain the experimental farm sites that we're putting up so that we can grow food so that they can eat as well as sell the compost and generate more income. One project that I'm specifically involved in and piloting at the moment is to get women also involved, because when I looked at it, it was very male dominated, and we needed to get the women off the streets as well. And not off the streets, but also just unemployed women, because there's more of that now. But what we're doing is we've got a whole lot of donations coming in of clothes. So these women are basically taking these clothes. We put a project together where we are going to educate them on the process. We're going to put them through business training and skills development in terms of they take the clothes, they're going to repair it and get it into a state where it is you're able to resell it, and then basically sell it in their communities. So through sustainability, we're giving these clothes new life. But also we're training these women to basically have their own businesses, things that they would not have been able to do in the past. And so they can sustain themselves. Remember, it's the whole thing about the fish. So we're not giving them the fish, we're actually teaching them how to fish. So that's where we're at with that. And it's the empowerment aspect is so important, because if we get these people employed and off of the streets, then also crime is also something that starts to take a bit of a turn as well. And we're hoping for the best. But if we can help people sustain themselves, then why not? So yeah, I think everybody's kind of trying to do their best at the moment, instead of sitting back and saying, there's nothing we can do, crime's going to get worse, let's just pack up and leave. You'll find a lot of people actually trying to do something about it, which is very encouraging. And you find even with the guys that are in the project at the moment, they're so devoted to the project, and the fact that people have taken time to support them and give them better lives, they actually feel accountable to get other people on the same page. So if they find people littering or not doing what they're supposed to, then it becomes a thing of you guys need to shape up because this is the space that we're in and we're looking after the space. So, that mindset shift, you're giving them something that belongs to them, so it's that other aspect as well of that belonging, which is great. So we're hoping for the best and trying as much as we can to help with Women in Business Unite now. So that is also an aspect where we're also empowering women that are underprivileged. So as well as those that are starting their own businesses.
So that's a level of accountability that's being built in all across the board. So as you talk about sustainability, it requires accountability in order for it to be sustainable. Like we keep each other in check.
Yes, absolutely.
So on different levels. And also not only just the business aspect, but on the emotional side as people and kind of navigating the space. And I'm curious to ask you, as far as, again, going back to being in South Africa, do you think there are certain things unique to how you collaborate, maybe locally, that might be different than how you would collaborate elsewhere? Just trying to get a sense of some of the cultural nuances that may be unique to where you are.
Yeah, so I mean, the fact that a lot of the ladies are local, so that makes it a little bit easier to also get together. So obviously permitting, but where we've got different businesses, that aspect of socializing, which we haven't had this last year and a half, is so important, obviously safely, but to come together and actually say, feed off our energies. And to say, look, I've done this and you've got that. Maybe we can work together. So there's been a lot of collaboration in that respect. Also with the Women in Business to say, I need a website. Can you do this for me? And vice versa. We're putting together an event at the end of the month where we're all going to meet. And you'll find very often that having a virtual conversation is one thing, but when you sit down with somebody and actually have that conversation, the outcome is very different a lot of the time. It's that connection you make with people. And that's the kind of thing that this is bringing out as well, is to get the ladies in their various groups to get together and have that bond, because they want to do that. We had a survey recently and 95% of them said they would like to meet in person to actually just, speak to people and feel normal again for a little bit. So,
Oh, wow. So Nivi, that is very encouraging to know. What would you say are some of the tips that you'd recommend to people to have more effective collaborations and to maximize it? Because I think what we have experienced is the shift from the idea of competition to collaboration, and especially now more than ever. So how do people, and so I'm going to ask you a two-part question. One, do you find people feeling a bit threatened with a competitive edge sometimes, or is it just purely a collaborative aspect to this? And then we can go into how to be more effective. So just speaking to the competition versus collaboration.
So I must be honest, when I got into it, I was a bit worried that, how would this whole thing pan out? And, women have a bad rep for that kind of thing. And it's so wrong, actually. And I don't know whether it is because of the culture we've created within our community, but it's absolutely free from that. And when I say it, it's like that saying that goes, when you fix someone's crown rather than pull it off. That's what we do. You fix a crown. And that's what it is. Because when we meet, there's always encouragement. There's always support. There's people never unwilling to help someone else. I mean, when we started out, the women were like, I attended a seminar on this. I want to talk about it at our next meeting. I'm like, yes, absolutely. And then there's someone who learned of something and they want to share it with the team. So, you must never have those preconceived ideas of what you think it might be. Because when your intentions are good and the scene is set, I think people just navigate to that space where that's similar to them. So you will attract the people that are that kind of community to you, into your community. And that's very important to remember. And I mean, a part of it might also be that we've been so isolated for the last year and a half that we just want to get out there. Everybody feels their own pain and they want to help somebody who hasn't, who's also feeling that pain. I mean, we speak about it and different problems that come out of this. There was one of the ladies had given up on her business. She had started it during COVID. She thought it would pan out. And she was literally, she penned down, she was like, I can't do this. I'm not going to do this. I've given up. And she saw our post and she messaged me immediately. She said, what is this? I was just literally about to give up on my business. And I tell you, to date, I think that was 3 months ago. She's now got 3 clients from this group, and one of them is her biggest client that she's had. So it's the fact that you've got somewhere to look, you've got a safe space, you've got, you don't have to think of everything, because someone might mention something and it may resonate with you and make you think other things you wouldn't have thought about. And it's that energy we keep talking about. I mean, being women as well and mums, there's other women who suffer from depression or postnatal depression. And that's why we also highlight that aspect of lifestyle, because I think that's very important, because women are women at the end of the day. And our businesses are one thing, but we also kind of keep ourselves accountable to show up, to try and be confident, to have a healthier, happier mindset and that kind of thing, because it all fits together, right? And that's the kind of thing we're encouraging in this group, is to say, do you need to know more about women's health and how to manage your kids better? And that kind of thing. I mean, we spoke earlier about time management and perspective and all that kind of thing. So it's about that. And it's about creating a holistic support system, call it that. Because I want to be happy in my personal life so I can be a success in my business. And I want my business to be a success so that my personal life is also a success. It all fits together. And that is vitally important in terms of, that's what kind of makes us different. Because we tackle all of those aspects. I think they're very closely knit. And that saying goes, if mom's not happy in a family, nobody's happy. So we're trying to go on that premise.
That is for sure. And I love the whole idea of the holistic approach. And that is what one of the, again, benefits, positives of what we've been going through has revealed, that you are an entire human being, an entire entity, and we over compartmentalize maybe our lives so much that we think it's separate and distinct, but it really isn't. You're just one you, and you do different things, you're involved in different things, but you have to look at the holistic approach. So that is very, very great to hear how that's coming to shape. So what tips would you give people to be more effective in their collaborations, how to approach it, maybe from a proactive perspective in entering into the space of engaging with people, or what they can look for to be more collaborative that they may not even be aware of, where the opportunity could exist?
Yeah, I think there are many networking groups out there. I think you got to find one that resonates with you. The culture needs to resonate with you. Let's just put it that way. We're not a group that's looking for 50,000 people. We're a group that we want to make sure that when we help each other, there's success in that help. That is, we're seeing it through. Today you might have an issue with your kids that are driving you nuts, whereas tomorrow you've got an investment issue that you want help with, or legal issue that's bothering you, or you need some insight on social media. Gosh, social media has become such a big thing, and that's been a major topic of ours as well. But so the paradigm's different, so that the dynamics change as well. And you want to know that as I maneuver through this journey of entrepreneurship, that if I plug something in, someone's going to be able to assist me. I mean, that's the thing. And there's always someone willing to assist in some way. And if there isn't, then we find somebody that can. And that's the thing about the support, right? You want support. You want to know that somebody's got your back. And that's the main thing. So I think to collaborate effectively, you've firstly, as an entrepreneur, need to know where you got to have an idea of where you're headed. And if not, then you bounce a few ideas. Yesterday, I spoke to somebody and it was around just getting more perspective, because when you're in entrepreneurship and you've just started, your very first client is very, very scary. So what we discussed was, hey, look, you want to pitch something, use me as your client. Let's do this. Let's break that non-confidence and make it confidence, so that when you're ready to make your sale, you know that you've covered all your bases. We critique each other. We bounce ideas off. Treat me as your client, and we can work through the issues that you're having. And I mean, I would love that. I mean, you are so freaked out the first time you need to make a sale. Let's be honest. You try and play all cool, but it's a scary journey, right? So that's one thing, is being clear of where you're headed. If not, there's support to get you there. But in collaboration and connections, I think the most important thing is finding a space where people understand you. You have the same values and beliefs, and your struggles are similar. So with us, you may not all have children, but your struggle is very similar in that you're an entrepreneur. You started off this journey, you might have become a bit stuck, or you reached a plateau, but you need that support system to just get you going. You feel maybe that you're a bit lost, you're not sure if you're in the right direction. You just need that helping hand. So, and also maybe the ability to choose what you need out of the group. So that's why we've got different layers in terms of what we're going to offer in the year to come, in the next year. And we'll do a follow-up at some point, is where we are. But it's also, people reach this stage in their business at different levels. So we're incorporating a mentorship program as well for those more established businesses. There's a startup phase. So I call them the ready, steady, and go. So like the ready is, that's how you remember it. But ready is those startups that have just come in and they're a bit petrified about navigating this journey and would love help on specific aspects. Steady is, they've started, they've gone onto this journey, but they also may have reached a plateau. They're not sure where to go next. And established is, you've been in it for a while and you might need a mentor to just take you to the next level. So that's kind of where we're featuring in terms of that. So yeah, to find that space that makes you feel safe, makes you feel that you're able to communicate freely, that you don't feel like, the atmosphere is a little bit intimidating. So that's kind of, my take on that. You'll know when you in your community, if it's for you or not.
Okay. I really like the whole idea of critiquing each other, where you can, going back to what you're saying about the whole sales process, and wherever you need to address, and if it's specifically sales, where you can literally role play with someone, because that is not something you really get to do too often, especially maybe with someone who can actually give you valuable feedback. And most times you learn through doing. So if you have the opportunity to really bounce off someone's expertise in a given area, it can make all the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't know what you don't know at the end of the day, right? All of this helps in your journey. And that's what we're trying to do, is make the journey easier. People don't need to suffer through this entrepreneurship journey. You want to enjoy your business at the end of the day. So why not all just help each other? We save ourselves tons of time instead of trying to figure everything out by ourselves. Yeah.
Exactly. It's a kind of an expediter. And that goes back to you being the business accelerator. It's all about, as you make these connections, it accelerates people's success and accelerates their access to information they need when they need it. And that's how entrepreneurs or people in business really should continually seek to do. What can I do to accelerate where I am? Or who can I be connected to who could make the difference? So that is an amazing network that you've created to kind of really do just that. So in your entrepreneurial journey, has there been any books or resources? It could be a book or a resource that has helped you to in this whole collaborative space or become more focused in that regard, or has inspired you, if you will?
Well, the funny thing is, I've stumbled across Blinkist. Have you subscribed to Blinkist?
I've heard of it. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So I'm quite enjoying that at the moment because, like I said, with such little time on your hands, Blinkist basically compresses these books and gives you the nuggets of information in like 15 minutes. It's fantastic. I love it. So yeah, that's kind of something. And I know I've been reading your book as well.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, so I've actually been enjoying that. I must say that's something to take away. That's worth a look at.
That is very good. So it's Blinkist.com.
I think so.
Blinkist.com. That's good. That is a very good resource. I will make sure to include that so we can definitely look at it some more. And, I would say, Nivi, as people seek to continually improve their ability to collaborate and so forth, what would you say if there was like one thing that you would recommend that someone go and do today to be a more effective collaborator, or to really put what you're sharing into practice? What's like the one or two things you would highlight that they should go and do today
to be a better collaborator? I'd say there's lots of groups out there that you're probably looking at and thinking, oh, okay. I'm saying take action, get in there and experience what this community is for you. So whichever one you choose to be involved in, just take action. That's the biggest thing. We scroll through our feeds and we look at the feeds that come up, but that, unless you take something out of what you've read, it's not going to get you anywhere. You need to put yourself out there and take action. So get involved with the community. See what it's about. You'll be surprised at what you may come out of, but also don't waste your time. When you do enter this group, whether it's virtually or in person, do something with the information that you get out of that session that you've attended. That's so vitally important, because a lot of us leave that session or a meeting or whatever, and we don't really do anything much, but the opportunity or the potential for opportunity is so great if you do something about it. And that's my biggest takeaway, besides the fact that in business, we need to start changing our narrative, and we need to start looking at helping others. So you may think, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm trying to do this thing by myself, but there's always opportunity to help others out there in any little way possible. It doesn't need to be huge, but that helping hand goes a long way. If everybody helped somebody else, it would make such a difference in the world. So yeah, that's my little piece of advice.
Well, you're already doing an amazing job making that difference, and how you are providing the space where others can come together and benefit from all the things that you're sharing. So congratulations to you, Nivi, on uniting these women around moving forward and being successful. So
thank you. I mean, it wouldn't be anything if it wasn't for them being so phenomenal. They blow my mind every single time. So it really is a testament to them and their power and their potential for wanting to be better. It is, absolutely.
So how can people find you? Where can they find you or join your community? Where's the best way to connect with you?
So I think on Instagram's probably the best. It's Women in Business Unite, and that's where you'll find us. Would probably be best. And then our email address is on there as well.
Okay.
So,
so they can find
you.
Facebook
is the same as well. I think Facebook, it's Unite Women in Business. is the tag. So Women in Business Unite. Just look for us. You'll find us on there.
Okay, and I'll have links to that in our show description. But I want to really thank Nivi for these wonderful insights you shared today, and really to give us a new perspective and encourage us to think more broadly and be open to collaborating more, open to where opportunities could be where we may not initially think, and really just to be encouraged to keep supercharging and flying forward. So yes, so I invite you to any questions you have, write them in the comments. We'll make sure to check them. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, share it with your friends, let people know who can benefit from this message, and tag them and let them know what's more insights that they can gain access to. And also, I want to encourage people to join the Supercharged newsletter. If you haven't already subscribed, I invite you to do that, to my weekly email newsletter, and also to our upcoming Supercharged Mastermind Retreat, which is actually happening the 4th Thursday of the month, and invite people to sign up for that as well at emilymchugh.com/retreats. So stay supercharged, stay connected, and stay collaborating. So again, Nivi, thank you so much, and we'll see you all next time.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye everybody.